Hey guys, I'm back with part 2 for this tutorial on how to build this mansion. Here in this video, we're going to go ahead and bring up the exterior walls for the garage and the exterior walls for the second floor of the main part of the house. So we're going to go ahead and start with the garage walls first over here towards the right side of the build. So we're pretty much just using all of the same blocks in part 1, except I now have some dark oak planks, dark oak wood stairs, and a tripwire hook. And then we still have the dark oak fences, quartz stairs, white stained glass panes, gray concrete, white concrete, pillar quartz blocks, and some andesite. So let's go ahead and use our andesite to mark out the foundation for the garage. We'll head on over here, we'll look at this corner of the house, and we're going to go right next to that, working our way over towards the right. We want to make sure to skip over 9 blocks of grass. So this right here is the 9th block. What we want to do is just go over one more, so we're on the 10th. And now work your way towards the front, starting here, and place 6 blocks of andesite. So once again, just right here we have 9 blocks of grass in between this space, or for the space here. And then we have these 6 blocks of andesite working its way towards the front side. So that is the start of the garage walls. Let's go ahead and look at our andesite here. We'll go at the right side of it. We'll work our way towards the right and we'll place an additional 7. Now line up with that corner one. We're going to be right on top of this grass block here. And we're going to work our way over towards the right again and place 9. So this is what we have so far. Make sure that strip of 9 is right on the edge of our yellow concrete that we have right there. Let's take a look at this corner here where we left off. Make sure you have your andesite again. We're going to place 1 here. So that's just working its way towards the back. Let's skip over 7. And now on the 8th block, we're going to place 1 there. 1 there, and then 1 there. So a total of 3, and that's just kind of like a corner wall. So if I go up above again, I'm looking at it from the front side. We have 7 spaces right there. That is where one of the garage doors are going to be. Then we have those 3 blocks, and now we're going to work our way over towards the right. So we'll head back down, and we're going to skip over 5. And now on the 6th block, we're going to place 1 and then skip over 7. And then on the 8th block, we're going to place 1 right there. Okay, let's take a look. We head back on over here. We have 7 spaces. We have these 3 blocks. Then we have 5 spaces here. We have a block there. And then we have 7 spaces here. And now that I remember, let's place 1 more because that's the corner block. That's where white concrete will be. So we're going to be right on the edge of the plot size here. So make sure there's 2 there. I forgot to add 1. My bad. Okay. So now if I go up above, this is what we have from the front side. Head on over here all the way towards the right. We're going to go right along the edge of our plot size here. So working our way towards the back. With the andesite starting here, place 13. Now switch to your pillar quartz block and we're going to have 1 right here. So keep in mind everywhere else for the build, as you can see, we actually had the pillar quartz right on top of the andesite. But back here, we're going to have kind of like this covered porch area. So it only makes sense to have the pillar all the way down to the ground. So it matches up the pillars we're going to have here. So you'll see what I mean in part 3. I think we should do the covered space here. And it'll just make more sense to have this all the way on the ground. So it's not like that. It's all the way on the ground, just so you know. Just so you're not getting confused with the other side. Okay? Now, let's go right next to this pillar, quartz. So we're going to work our way towards the right, off towards the main part of the house. We're going to place an additional 6 andesite. Now we're going to skip over 3 spaces. So we're starting here on the 4th block, and we're going to place another 6. Now once again, have a pillar quartz block just all the way on the ground. Now right behind that pillar where we left off, make sure you have your andesite. We're going to start right here, work our way over towards the right, towards the main part of the house, and we're going to place 16. That looks good. So now it should be lined up with that wall where we started. Now go ahead and work your way towards that wall over there, starting right here, and place an additional 9 andesite. Now we're going to go ahead and skip over 3 spaces, and we're going to start right here and place 4 more. And it should connect back right here. So this is just a little doorway leading into the garage. So we have this door, and then the archway, like the covered archway right here. So you can walk right underneath it into this door, which leads into the garage. We have a door over here. And then, like I mentioned before, it's just kind of like a covered porch area right here. And then over here is a garage door, a smaller garage door, and then another garage door there. Okay. So let's go ahead and start bringing up all of these walls. Okay, we'll go ahead and start here at the front where these 2 pieces of the wall are. We'll start with a pillar quartz block, go to the corner here, and bring it up by 7. We'll go ahead and have another one right here on this corner. And then one more over here on this corner. So we're going to have a 3 block wide window on this part and a 2 block one right here. So we'll start with our white concrete. We'll add a layer on top of the andesite for both of the parts. And where I accidentally brought up that white concrete, that'll still actually just be brought up like that, right behind the pillar. We'll have one more layer here, and another layer right next to this one. So it looks like that. And then another one against that pillar and that one. I guess I'll look at it from up above. You can see we have the 2 spaces there, 1 space there, 1 space there, and 1 space there. Okay. Now we're going to have, like I mentioned, a 2 block wide window here, same way that we've done it for the rest of the build. And now, like I mentioned, a 3 block wide window right here. So there we go, make sure there's 4 layers of gray concrete here, and then you can see how the rest of the window shapes out. So we have this wall all done, and I guess we'll probably do the garage doors last. So we'll head on over to this side, and we'll focus on this wall next. Okay, we're gonna have a small 1 block wide window over there, and another one over there, and then we have the doorway in the middle. So make sure you have your white concrete. We'll start out by adding a layer on top of the andesite for both of these sides. Remember, this corner here is going to be a pillar quartz block, so bring it up by 7. Let's have an additional layer of white concrete. Actually, we're going to have 2. And then over here, we're going to have 2 as well. And now we're going to switch to our gray concrete, and like I mentioned, we're just going to have a 1 block wide window here. So just the 4 layers of gray concrete, and then over here. Now the rest of the space around the edge of the window is going to be white concrete. Got those small windows marked out. Go ahead and do our doorway. So just some white stained glass panes, 3 on each side. Curve out the bottom one and the top one. Then dark oak fence for the handle. We're gonna go ahead and have 3 upside down quartz stairs like that. So on this side, we'll be able to have these stairs. Over here, we won't. So just keep that in mind. And then our layers of the white concrete. And there we go. This entire wall is all done. And now we'll head on over here towards the back, and we'll focus on this wall next. So we have 2 2-block wide windows on this part of the wall, and then same here, we have one there and one there. So let's go ahead and have our layer of white concrete on top of the andesite. We'll go ahead and do it for the andesite on this part as well. Let's go ahead and bring up our pillars, and then you could go ahead and just place another 7. So everywhere else, we have a total of 7. Here, if you were to count it, it's 8 because we have an extra one down here instead of the andesite like we have everywhere else. So just keep that in mind. We'll head on over here. We'll have an additional 7 as well. And now let's go ahead and grab some white concrete. We'll go right behind the pillar. We'll add a layer going up. And then another one right next to it. We'll focus on this section. We'll have a layer right next to that pillar. And over here. And then we'll have another one up against this pillar. So I'll take a look at what we've done. Looking like that. So let's go ahead, I guess we'll do these windows first. So grab your gray concrete, bring it up 4 layers. We'll skip over 2, have another 4. We'll go over here, 4 layers, skip over 2, another 4. Okay, we will have a doorway here. We'll go ahead and do that. So with your white stained glass paint starting here at the bottom, we'll bring it up 3 on each side. And then we'll curve out the bottom and the top. Empty space with the handle. 3 upside down quartz stairs. And then the rest of it white concrete. Let's focus on this wall. Back to your gray concrete, we're just going to have a 2-block wide window here. And right here. So just the same concept as everywhere else. So I'm going to skip through this, just fast forward it. And then we'll head on to the next wall. Okay, so that wall is all done. Let's head on over here. We'll go ahead and do this wall. And then we have the garage doors where all that empty space is. And we'll go ahead just real quick. Right on this corner, we'll have 7 blocks of the pillar quartz. Grab your white concrete. We'll have a layer right on top of the andesite. And then a layer right up against that pillar. And over here. And now for this wall, we're just going to have 2 1-block wide windows. So grab your gray concrete. We're going to have one here. And then another one here. So once again, just the same design as we've done everywhere else. So I'm going to go ahead and fast forward through this part. So that wall is all done. let's head on over here towards where the garage doors will be. And we're just going to be using, we'll go ahead and get rid of the dark oak fence for now. And we're just going to use the tripwire hook, the dark oak planks, the quartz stairs, or my bad, not the quartz stairs, the dark oak wood stairs, and the white stained glass panes. So these 4 blocks here. So we'll get on to doing these doors next. Oh, actually, we will also be using white concrete for all the andesite parts. Let's go ahead and do that. So right here on top of this block, just have a layer of layer of white concrete going all the way up. Same with right here, so 7. We'll do it for this wall. And then right here, so 7 layers once again. And then we will have a little bit more right above our garage door. But for now, we won't worry about that. Let's just grab our wood blocks and start marking out where the doorways will be. Go ahead and grab your dark oak wood stairs, and we'll look at this doorway first. We want to make sure we are starting 1 block further than our wall here. So we're not going to be lined up at the edge like that. We always want to make sure we're 1 block further. So with your dark oak wood stairs, we're going to have a stair like that. Then another one curving into it. And then 1 right there. And then we'll have a full block of wood right in the middle. And then once again, the 3 stairs all curving together. Now, on top of those, we're going to do the same thing again. So just 3 of the stairs all curving together in the same direction like that. And then a full block in the middle. Now, let's go ahead and have another full block. We're going to have them upside down now. So an upside down one there, there, and then we will need to just have a block of white concrete so that we could place the other one. So down here at the bottom, we have 3 of them facing up. The next row is also 3 of them facing up. And then the 3rd row is them facing down. We'll do it again here. And then we will need a block of concrete. Okay, so that looks good. Now, let's go ahead and grab our white stained glass panes. We're going to skip over this first block. We're going to have 2 there, and 2 there. In the middle, a block of wood, and on the sides. Okay, now let's have another block of wood on each side. And then all the space in the middle, we'll go ahead and just have some upside down stairs. Or we could actually switch it up a bit. Let's have maybe a full block in the middle. And maybe we could leave it like that. I guess that's good. Okay, now here on top, make sure not to place down the corners. And we're just going to have a layer of the dark oak planks like that. And then switch to your white concrete and have it right there in the corner, and then the 2 extra layers on the top. So it just rounds off the corner of the garage door, just like a little arch. And then the final thing is the tripwire hook right there at the bottom in the middle, so it looks like they handle to the garage door. So there we go, that door is done. Let's now focus on the smaller one. Okay, so now for the smaller door, it's kind of the same design, except you know how we had 3 here with the stairs? We're only going to have 2 here. So we're going to have just 1 in that direction, and then 1 curving into it. Same with this side, 1 there, and there. Right in the middle, a full block. Now on top of that, once again, just them facing up. So 1 there, and there. And then here. Another full block in the middle. Now we're going to have them upside down. So we will need to just have a full block of the concrete on each side. So that we can have the upside down one. And there. Over here on this side as well. Full block in the middle. And now let's have a full block on each side. In the middle, just 3 white stained glass panes. another full block. And we'll go ahead and have 3 upside down stairs. And then on top of that, 3 full blocks. So these stairs here, I actually had full blocks at the original build. Same with right here, just full blocks. But we'll go ahead and leave it as it is. If you like the stairs like that, you could leave it. Or if you like just full blocks there, you can have it like that. And then once again, the stairs, which I'm going to just keep, adds a little bit more. So you can make your decision, whichever one you like more. Let's go ahead and have our tripwire hook down here at the bottom. And then the rest of this, just white concrete. Alright, if that looks good, let's go ahead and have the final door here, which is the same design as the other one. So make sure to grab your stairs again. We're going to have 3 just curving together here at the bottom, a full block in the middle, and 3 here. On top of that, same thing again, just 3 of them facing up. And then the full block in the middle. We'll have another full block in the middle, and then we're going to have 3 upside down. We need a block of white concrete here so we could place this one. Over on this side, we already have the block, so 3 like that. Oh, hang on. There we go. Alright. Now, full block on each end. And in the middle. And then 2 white stained glass panes on each side. Another full block on top of all of these. The upside down stairs. And then right on top of all this, just a layer of the 5 full blocks. We'll have our tripwire hook down here at the bottom. And then the rest of it at the top, the white concrete. Oh, not right there, right here. So, the garage doors are all marked out. I really like how they look. We're gonna head on over to the main part of the house. And we're gonna go ahead and bring up all of the exterior walls for the second floor. But real quick, let me just take a look at what we've done. So this is the main part of the house over here. And then over there is the garage. Alright, so it's all looking good. Okay, we're gonna go ahead and start here at the front side of the house first. And I just have all the blocks that we're gonna be using for the rest of this video. So I got rid of all the other ones that we had. So, let's head on over here to the corner, and with your pillar quartz block, we want to place an additional 8. Okay, so just 8 more like that. We'll head on over to this corner, and we'll do the same thing. Now, on top of our white concrete, as you can see, we already have 2 layers here. What we want to do is add an additional 2 more. So just from one side to the other. So right above our window, we now have 4 layers of white concrete. And we're pretty much just matching up the windows that we had on the first floor to the second floor. And then right here in the middle, as you can see, we have our door there. We're just going to have a bigger window in the middle. So right up against our pillar quartz, we'll have a layer of white concrete on each side. Okay, switch to your gray concrete. We'll have 4 going up. And yeah, like I mentioned, we're just matching it up to the bottom layer. So 2 windows over here and 2 windows over there. After we do that, I'll go ahead and show you how I'm going to do the middle one. So I'll see you guys in a second. I'm just going to fast forward all this, since it is just the same thing that we did on the first floor. By the way, we'll just leave it right as it is right there. Let's not add any white concrete just yet. So what we did right there, let's go ahead and do it over here. There we go. This is what the front side is looking like so far. So now right here in the middle, we're going to have the same window design that we had right there. So add 2 more layers of white concrete right next to this window that we have here. Go ahead and do it on this side as well. And like I mentioned, just the same window that we had down there. So we have the strip of gray concrete on each side. Skip over 1. And then we are left with 2 spaces in the middle. For now, we're just going to leave it like that here at the front side. We are going to have a little front porch here with a bit of a roof, but we won't do that here in this video. So now, I guess we'll head on over here to the left side. We'll focus on this wall right here next. Okay, the rest of the walls are very simple. This over here is just a solid wall of white concrete. And then for the most part, everything back here is white concrete. We will have a door leading out to a balcony right above there. And then over there is the majority is just white concrete, but we have a window like that at the top. So I'll head back on over here. And just a solid layer of white concrete. We will have a roof going up here. And we will carve out some of the extra white concrete blocks once we start pretty much doing the interior and stuff. But we'll just go ahead and have a solid wall of white concrete here for now, just so it makes it easier. So let me first grab a pillar quartz block. And right on top of the corner here, let's go ahead and have 8 more. And now just starting right here on this layer, we'll just go from one side to the other and bring up layers of white concrete so it lines up with the pillar quartz. There we go, very simple. Let's head on over here to the other side. And we'll go ahead and do this wall next. So let's go ahead to this pillar quartz, add 8 more. Now let's add 2 layers of white concrete on top of what we already have here. Now here towards the back, right up against our pillar, let's add 2 layers going up. And now the same window that we had down there will be up here. And now the rest of this wall is just going to be white concrete. There we go, that wall is all done. Now let's go ahead and focus on this back wall right here. Okay, let's go ahead and start marking out the window and the doorway that we have up here for our little balcony. So with your white concrete, we're just going to have 1 more layer right on top of this wall here. And now over here at the left, we're going to fill in 4. So 1, 2, 3, 4. We'll bring this all the way up. Switch to your white stained glass panes, and we're now going to start our opening here. So just a window right here, 4 blocks in height, upside down quartz stair, and then a strip of white concrete right next to it, and the 2 extra layers at the top, so like that. Then we're going to have a doorway right in the middle, so grab your white stained glass panes again, we'll bring it up 4, and then another layer after that. Alright. Right here is actually going to be a handle, so grab your dark oak fence, and we'll have it right there. Let's go ahead and, let's see, how should I do this? We're going to have 1 space in the middle. So let's go ahead and have 5 upside down quartz stairs. And then we could grab our white concrete and just right up against it, have a strip going up. And then the 2 layers at the top. And now what we did over here is what we're going to do right up against this white concrete. So 4 layers of the glass. one at the bottom, 2 at the top, and our handle. Alright, and now our final window should be lined up with this white concrete strip that we have right here. So 4 white stained glass panes, upside down quartz stair, and then the rest of this wall is just going to be white concrete. But first, let's take a look at this. So I'll take a look all the way back. We have 4 spaces there, and then we started our window, so we have 1 window there, strip of white concrete. This is a total of 5 spaces here for that doorway, leaving 1 space in the middle empty, and then the white concrete again, and our window there. So that looks good. So now the rest of the wall over here will just completely fill in with white concrete, and when it comes to the roof, we'll go ahead and carve out the hole needed, because we're going to have a doorway like right here. It's going to be a doorway leading into the space in the roof right above there. So we're going to need to cut out the opening here. So we'll do that in the next video. So over here, once again, we'll just bring it straight across to the other side with a solid wall of white concrete, and we'll make the adjustments later for the opening. And there it is, a solid wall of white concrete for now. And there is one more thing that I want to do here in this video before we end it off, and that is the balcony for the door right there. And then I have a few decorations right underneath all the windows for the second floor. Same with the front. I think that's all of them. Yeah. So we'll go ahead and do those few little things, and then we'll leave it at that here for part 2. So I'm back here at the front, and we're pretty much just going to have some flower beds underneath the windows here on the second floor. So we're just going to have 4 here at the front. Not going to have anything for that middle window, just the 2 on each side, and then 1 over there at the back, or towards like the back wall here on the side. So go ahead and grab your quartz stairs. We'll just place 4 upside down, lined up with the window. I guess we'll do them all at the same time. Now we want an upside down one on its side, on each end, right underneath all those. And then 2 facing up in the middle, and then 2 slabs right underneath. Okay, and that is it. So we'll do the same thing here. So the 2 on their side, 2 facing up, slabs in the middle, and then 2 more times over here. Now I'm just going to have some flower pots, which I'm going to fill in with ferns, but you could use whichever flower you want. So there we go, that's all we'll do here at the front. Then we have 1 more here at the back, towards the side. Just a little bit wider, so just 5 blocks like that. Upside down on its side, on each end. And then 3 facing up in the middle. We have our slabs. Then we'll just have 1 in the middle, like 1 flower pot in the middle. Okay. So that is it for those little flower bed things. So now the final thing I want to do here in this video is the balcony for the doorway here. Okay, let me go ahead and move this slab near our stair right there. So we're going to be using the quartz slabs and the quartz stairs, and then we actually will also need a full block of quartz, so we'll grab that. So just these 3 right here. Okay, we're going to start with the quartz stairs, and we want to make sure we're just 1 block below the window here, and we're going to be right here on the corner. So just a stair like that. And then we're going to have a slab. We'll head on over here, same thing, so a stair like that, and a slab. And then the rest of it right down the middle in between the slabs will just be stairs. So all upside down. Right underneath that, we're just going to have some slabs. Pretty simple. That's pretty much about it. Now we just have to do the floor and our railing. So for the floor, just grab your full blocks of quartz, And we'll swap out this layer of white concrete underneath our doorway and where the window is. And we'll just fill all of this in with the full blocks of quartz. And now for the railing, we're just going to have an upside down quartz stair there, and then a slab. Same thing on this side, so just the stair and the slab, and then just back and forth. So stair, slab, back and forth until you meet up with the other side. And perfect. There we go. And now there is just one more thing I want to do, and that is the overhang above our doorways here, just so we have it out of the way. We might as well just do it. It's going to be really quick. And then that'll be all I do here in this video. So make sure you have your upside down quartz stairs, and then we're also going to be using some dark oak wood slabs, so be sure to grab those. So start with your quartz stair, and we're going to place it upside down right above that little window. We'll do it for this side as well. Okay, and now we're going to have a sideways one on top of that. And make sure it's facing up. And now just upside down quartz stairs right in between those, right down the middle. And now on top of that, some dark oak wood slabs. And that is it for these little overhangs, nothing too crazy, really quick, might as well go ahead and do it. Alright, so that is all I'm going to do here in part 2. So in part 3, we'll go ahead and do the roof for the garage, and then it extends just like a little overhang to the main part of the house over there. We'll do the roof over here, probably just like the roof for the entire build. So we'll go ahead and leave it at that here for part 2. Okay guys, that's going to be it here for part 2 for this tutorial on how to build this mansion. If it helped you, be sure to please leave a like, subscribe for more, and I'll see you guys in part 3.